More and more people are considering leaving the cities, buying a piece of land to lead a more self-sustainable lifestyle. Hi and welcome back to South African Homesteader. My name is Haria and today we are going to be talking about what your options are when you are considering leaving the city, selling up and buying that piece of property. So many people out there, the first thing that you would look for is a property that have an existing building on it where you can live and you don't have that much to do in terms of your accommodation, etc. But that option can be a very expensive option because farms and small holdings are not cheap once they are built up. So the other option then is to buy raw land and to build your own homestead or farm from scratch. This video is specifically made for those of you who have now bought raw land and you are considering what will be your next step. So then the first option would be you could rent a property in the vicinity of your land that you have purchased, and you could commute back and forth while you are building up your farm, building up a place to stay, and all of those things. That could prove to be quite expensive because you would want to have as much cash flow that you can push into your property, and if you are going to be paying rent, then that is an extra expense, money that could have been used to build up your farm or homestead. But now that just depends on the level of comfort and or discomfort that you are willing to sacrifice for what the bigger goal is. And I have found that many people are not willing to give up their home comforts, and that would be the best option for them, would be to rent a property close by and then to commute and build the farm from scratch using whatever funds they have. Some of them are working online, so there will be funds coming in. Some of them have sold their house, they've got a lump sum money that they have now got, so they will be using maybe that funds. So your second option would be to buy a camper. That would give you an immediate place to stay when you move to your land. But now you have to consider, is there a water point or is it just raw land? And if there isn't a water point, where are you going to be sourcing your water from? Drinking water, that's no problem. That you can buy in the 5-liter bottles and you can keep them in stock. But you need water to clean your place, you need water to wash yourselves, you need water to clean the dishes, you need water if you want to start your garden, you need water for that. So the immediate thing would be to consider where is going to be your water source. Do you have neighboring farms where you could get water from, or do you have a JoJo? Is there somebody, a JoJo tank, water storage tank? Is there somebody in the in your vicinity or in the locality or in the area where you could have a truck come and fill up your JoJo tank at a cost? So those are all the things that you need to look for when you are now deciding to go and live in a camper on your land. Water is very important. Believe me, I've been there. A camper is, I feel it's like you are living in a little corridor or passage, and you have these fold-up beds and you have these fold-up tables that folds out at night, and then you have to put cushions on them and all of that. So you could also build a tiny house. Many people are doing that. That, however, takes time, and If you have the time, then that's a great option, because the tiny house you could always use afterwards for a you could use it for you can rent it out for people who need an overnight place to stay, and that will work out fine for you. That's a good option, but it does take time, whereas the camper gives you that immediate, you can move to the land, you have a place to stay, and you will be secure. So if you have the time available to you and you want to build a tiny house, then that is another option that you can take. Then the last option that I want to speak to is you could buy a one of those army tents, one of the wall tents, which is and you can get them at Tent Co. You can get them at Camp and Climb. You can get them at various places. It is the heavy canvas tents, and they come in various sizes. So depending on the size of your family, you can have that option. That is actually the option that we took. We took the option of buying tents. We bought two, and when we moved to this raw land, we basically sold our house, moved to complete raw land, and we set up the tent on the same day. It took us a few days to move, but we basically had a place to stay immediately. Now, when you consider that, for me, that was actually the cheapest option, because the tents aren't cheap, they are quite expensive. You can get them from anywhere from about 18,000 Rand, South African Rand, and you don't have to just have the tent, because once you've moved and you have that first few days or the first 2 weeks on the land, you can make extensions to your living space using whatever you want. We extended the kitchen, then we extended this veranda area where I'm sitting in at the moment, and you will make those adjustments for your living space to make it comfortable for you and your family. So, the reason that we decided on a tent as opposed to a camper is because with a tent, I find that it gives you the feel of having a bedroom where you can put a bed. You can actually, because it's a wall tent, you can place your furnishings exactly as you would in your home, and the space available to you is so much more than you would have in a camper, and that is why we decided on the tent option. Also, I find that with the camper, you perhaps the benefit of the camper is that you can move the camper if you're not happy with where you parked it originally, etc. But with us, we knew where we were going to place the tent, where we were going to be putting our living space, because our land was bordered by pine trees, and we were going to put it in the one corner so that it doesn't impact on any of our future plans that we had for the land. So that was why we decided on the tent option. It was for us a more spacious option. Obviously, you will be buying a tent that is suitable to the size of your family, or suitable to the size of what you feel you will need. And it's a great option. It is the only drawback, I would say, is that inside of the tent, when it is really hot, it can get quite hot. You do have lots of ventilation windows, however, it still gets hot inside the tent, which is why we made the extensions and the veranda. So um, since we've done this, we don't have any problems with heat, etc., because the only reason we actually in the tent is the tent is actually our bedroom, and that is where we sleep at night, so we don't have that anymore. The kitchen area we now have made into the extension. The kitchen is now in our extension, which we have put a window in, and we have it's ventilated, well ventilated, so I don't have that problem either, because my husband saw how much I was suffering cooking inside the tent kitchen. So for me now, I'm very comfortable, and I actually do love the tent option. So, but like I say, each to his own. That is for you to decide which options you would want to consider for your off-grid living while you are building your house. But as I've said before, it's a completely personal choice. It's a completely personal choice. For me, the goal is bigger than the sacrifice. So, if that makes sense. So, things to consider if you do move directly from your home that you've now sold to your raw land, either using a camper, using a tent, or a tiny house, whichever of the options you will be deciding on. This is now for the people who have not bought land with a building where they can live in a house, or um, a barn that they can convert into a living space. Then the most important thing, like I've said before, is water. You need to get your water source. The first month we had our Jojo, we have 1,000 liter Jojo tank. So we had that filled at the neighbors. We left it on one of our vans, and we drove it there. It would then get filled, drove it back, left it there, and we used that water. We also bought our drinking water from the store. That water was merely for our ablutions and whatever else we might have needed the water for. So now you're off grid, right? You're off grid, you don't have water, you don't have electricity. So you need to provide for your family in terms of you need light, you need lighting at night, especially. So you need to see that you have light. You need to cook, so you need to have gas or propane, as they call it. So now getting to the solar panels, the solar system. We have a solar system. It's a very small solar system which we cannot run our freezers on, but we can have everything else. We have light, we can charge our phones, we can do various things. Things have become very easy in terms of you can buy chargers for your cell phones and for your laptops that works with solar. You can have lights that works with solar, and then you can have your panel that also provides that extra solar, where you can plug in your television, you can plug in various I even use my food processor using the solar plugs. And so that is, I feel, one of the most important things to do is to do your research in terms of your water, your power, be it propane. It's advisable to use a mix of propane and solar, so that you have the option, especially when it comes to, if you're using only propane, you might run out of the gas, and then at least you still have your solar to fall back on days that it's not fully sunny, right? And you have an overcast sky, your sky is overcast, you don't have clear weather, your solar system might not charge up fully. So then you have the propane gas to fall back on. So, in that regard, I feel that it's best that you have both propane gas and solar. So these are, it might seem very basic things that I feel people need to think about, and they need to research before they do the actual move. I had a lot of research that I did before I moved. So we were sort of up and running within a few days. And I can tell you the sacrifice is big. You also, another thing that I also recommend that you do is, you know, decide or how you are going to be using your your toilet facility? Is it going to be are you going to be doing composting? You get the composting toilets. Are you going to be using the toilets that we purchased, the Seaflow toilets? But you can do research on that as well, and because that is very important, people. Um, I mean, at the moment, we are 5 months into our journey and we are very comfortable. We are fortunate now that our plan has been approved and we have started the digging for our trenches, but that is a vlog for another day. Please don't forget to like this video if you found any of this information useful to you. Share it amongst friends who might be interested in starting a journey of self sustainability. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please don't forget to click that subscribe button. There's also a bell which indicates that you will be getting notifications whenever we upload a new vlog. So my next vlog will be once you have now made that move. The next vlog will be about once you have made the move, you are now on the land and you are itching to get your first garden started. How do you decide where you are going to be planting your first garden? So that will be the next vlog. So I'm going to be ending off this vlog now. Please leave a comment if you are planning to start on this journey, what you have done in preparation for the journey, and anything that might help any of our other viewers who are planning on starting a journey such as this one. So that will be the end of today's vlog. From me, Hyria at South African Homesteader. Until next time. Don't forget to subscribe and click that bell button for all notifications of future videos.